For some reason, the Duggars pretty much never talk about Josie Duggar. I think we've all wondered if she's alright for years, but they just never really give us any information. And recently, some stuff has come out about her health that might actually be cause for concern. What we've recently found out about Josie is unbelievable. Josie has always been someone we've all been kind of worried about. She is the youngest Duggar kid, and there were many complications surrounding her birth and the first few months of her life. Given all this, you'd think we'd know a lot about her, but the family's never really talked about her much, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, there's presumably a lot to talk about. Just this April, there was a photo of her going around that really made a lot of people panic. The photo was of Josie and her older sisters. They were all posing together and smiling for the camera. Honestly, the photo would have been kind of sweet, were it not for the one thing we all immediately noticed about Josie. She just looked so much smaller than her sisters. It was really noticeable. I mean, I know that she's the youngest Duggar kid, but the difference was huge. She just looked so petite compared to the others, and I'm not just talking about her adult sisters. Obviously, you can't really compare 13-year-old Josie to someone like Jana or Ginger, but Josie actually stood right next to Jordan. And while Jordan is older than her, she's not that much older. Jordan is actually only about a year older than Josie. She was born in December 2008, and Josie was born in December 2009. So they're really close in age, and I feel like there shouldn't be that much of a difference between them. I mean, I know that kids that age have weird growth spurts at different points, so it's possible that Josie just hasn't really had that yet. She might grow eventually and be about the same size as her older sisters, but given what we know about her health, I just feel like it's not unreasonable to be a little worried about her. I mean, she's just a little kid, and she looked really sweet in that photo. I really want her to be safe and healthy. A kid her age really shouldn't have to deal with serious health issues or anything like that. She should be enjoying life, and I hope that she's able to do that. Her sister Ginger was actually the one that posted that photo of all of them together. She shared it on social media and wrote that they had the best time in Arkansas. She mentioned that she got to spend a lot of girl time with her sisters and her mom. So overall, it seems like they all had a lot of fun together, and I hope that Josie was able to be a part of that. There's a lot that we don't really know about her. Like I said, the family just doesn't really talk about her all that much, which is probably why everyone gets so worried every time we catch a glimpse of her. After Ginger shared that photo, it kind of blew up on Reddit. Everyone was concerned for Josie. Some people suggested that maybe she was so small because she was born prematurely, so we might still be seeing the effects of that. But someone also pointed out that Josie might very well have a lot of health issues that have never been addressed, and this is honestly a pretty valid concern. I mean, back when 19 Kids and Counting was still on, Michelle said this one really weird thing about Josie and her health. It was the way she phrased it that made me kind of worried. This was in 2014. Josie was just 5 years old, and she had a really bad and terrifying seizure. Michelle later said that this actually happened pretty often, and that these seizures were just one of the glitches that Josie sometimes experienced. I thought that it was really weird that she chose to call the seizure a glitch. I mean, I'm obviously no medical expert or anything like that, but that wording made me feel like they were downplaying it a little, which is fine if they were just doing that to make everything easier on Josie. But we don't know if that's why Michelle used that phrasing. I just hope that that was the case, and that she didn't use that word because she didn't think that seizures were a big deal. Josie is someone who's had her fair share of health issues, and I think these need to be taken seriously. I really wouldn't want something to happen to her. Like I said, she's just a young, sweet kid, and I really hope that her parents are actually doing everything they can to make sure that she's healthy. Another thing that made people really worried was what we found out about Josie just a couple of months ago. Earlier this year, some of the family members were hanging out together again, and Josie's older brother James actually shared some photos from the day. One of the photos that he posted to his Instagram stories was of Josie with a plate of tater tots. She looked pretty happy in the picture and was even posing for the camera. But there was one thing that caught everyone's attention, and that was what she was wearing on top of her t-shirt. It seemed like Josie had some kind of a medical device on. It was kind of hard to see what exactly that device was. I mean, the photo didn't really show it that well, but it did look like some kind of a brace or a device for her posture. People online actually agreed with this. Someone on Reddit said that it looked like something people might wear for scoliosis, and I wouldn't really be surprised if Josie had something like scoliosis. Plus, she's apparently at the age when kids usually get screened for something like that, so it would just make a lot of sense. But the person on Reddit also pointed out that if it was a back brace for scoliosis, it would probably also have a strap around the waist, which Josie's brace seemingly didn't have. Another theory that people came up with was that Josie might have been wearing something to correct her posture after an injury. I seriously hope that wasn't the case. I feel like she's been through so much already. I wouldn't want her to deal with an injury like this. Someone suggested that the brace could be used for something like a collarbone injury, which just doesn't sound pleasant at all. I mean, obviously we don't know why Josie was wearing the corrective brace, but I hope that this wasn't the reason. Although I guess that either way, there was something wrong. So no matter how you look at it, it's still pretty obvious that Josie was probably dealing with some kind of discomfort a couple of months ago. I really feel like she's been through a lot for someone who's only 13 years old. I mean, she was born 15 weeks early and weighed less than 2 pounds at the time. That was a pretty scary time for the entire family. I'm glad that she pulled through. But that doesn't mean that I'm any less concerned for her now. She's really still just a kid, and we don't know much about how she's doing right now. From the little that we've seen, I'm a little worried about her. But hopefully none of these things that have come out are too serious. At the end of the day, I think we can all agree that we just want Josie to stay as happy and healthy as possible. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Do you think we should be concerned for Josie, or do you think she's doing just fine? Let me know in the comments below.